President Trump's meeting with the NATO Secretary General came as a bolt from the blue for the European Union. Is a redrawing of the world map and trade wars on the horizon? On March 13, 2025, during a conversation with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, the head of state expressed the opinion that the United States needed to establish control over Greenland, motivating this by considerations of international security and the need to protect against certain players cruising off the coast of the island. He expressed confidence that the annexation of Greenland was quite feasible. The day before, on March 12, in a conversation with Irish Prime Minister Michael Martin, Trump criticized the EU's trade policy, expressing dissatisfaction with restrictions on the import of American agricultural products and cars. He emphasized the imbalance in trade relations, pointing to the significant volume of European car imports into the United States. The president also touched on the dispute between the EU and Apple regarding tax breaks, expressing confidence in the victory of the United States in this financial confrontation. In early 2025, Denmark showed determination towards Tesla, reflecting growing concern about the company's methods and the behavior of its leader, Elon Musk. Akademiker Pension, one of the Danish pension funds, announced its intention to exclude Tesla from its investment list, selling its remaining assets and adding the company to the list of undesirable objects for investment. Akademiker Pension's decision was dictated by a number of factors, including Tesla's alleged hostility to the interests of workers and Musk's ambiguous actions. The fund noted that Tesla has long and consistently hindered trade union activities, demonstrates shortcomings in corporate governance, has a board of directors consisting mainly of associates and relatives, and destabilizes the situation with its public statements. According to Jens Munk Holst, CEO of Akademiker Pension, Musk's recent interference in political issues and his support for dubious individuals are damaging Tesla's reputation and value. Due to the lack of prospects for improvement, the fund concluded that further investment in Tesla does not seem justified. It is important to note that Denmark's discontent is not limited to the position of one investment fund. Following Danske Bank, another significant player in the Danish financial market, Pension Denmark, got rid of its Tesla assets, estimated at approximately 400 million Danish kroner amid an escalating labor conflict. The catalyst was Tesla's persistent refusal to conclude a collective bargaining agreement for its employees in Sweden, which provoked a wave of strikes in the company's service centers. A wave of solidarity swept across the Scandinavian countries, and by the end of 2023, Tesla's activities in Sweden were practically paralyzed. Trade unions stopped delivering correspondence, servicing charging stations, and even issuing license plates for cars. Trade union organizations in Denmark and Norway announced their readiness to block deliveries of Tesla cars in support of their Swedish colleagues. Faced with Tesla's fundamental unwillingness to enter into agreements with trade unions in any country, Pension Denmark added the company to its blacklist in December 2023. Danish trade union leaders, including one of the members of the board of directors of Pension Denmark, supported this decision, citing serious risks to Tesla's business in the event of further expansion of labor disputes. A wave of criticism is growing in Denmark against Tesla, whose business methods and the ambiguous figure of Elon Musk are raising more and more questions among local institutions. This attitude coincides with a clear weakening of Tesla's position in Europe, where not only sales volume is falling but also consumer loyalty. Once enthusiastic Europeans are increasingly looking at the Tesla brand with distrust, which is facilitated by scandals and negative publications in the press. According to the European Automobile Manufacturers Association, Tesla's sales in Europe in January 2025 fell by 45% compared to the same period last year. At the same time, competitors noted sales growth of more than 37%. Preliminary data for February only confirmed this alarming trend, foreshadowing serious challenges for Tesla in the European market. During 2024, European sales of Tesla decreased by 10.8%, which significantly exceeds the overall market decline of 1.3%. This led to the loss of Tesla's once leading position in the electric vehicle market in key European countries. While the global electric vehicle market is experiencing unprecedented growth, Tesla's position in corporate fleets, according to experts, is showing stagnation or even decline. Against the background of the appearance of dozens of new electric vehicles developed by European and Chinese manufacturers, the once dominant player is facing a serious challenge. In private, one industry executive noted that Tesla's current lineup is less compelling than its competitors' offerings, hinting that the company needs innovative, breakthrough solutions to regain its lost ground. However, perhaps a more significant blow to Tesla has been the damage to its public image. A survey conducted in late January by electrifying.com revealed that 59% of British respondents considering an electric vehicle purchase are rejecting Tesla because of Elon Musk. Once a symbol of technological progress and environmental responsibility, Tesla has, in the eyes of some consumers, become a source of disappointment and even irritation. Hashtags such as Tesla Takedown and swastika cars are gaining popularity on social media, reflecting growing discontent with Musk's political views and affiliations. The brand's once pristine reputation is now in question. Elon Musk's behavior and statements are increasingly drawing criticism from Tesla owners. In the UK, a longtime fan of the brand stated that, despite his love for the advanced technology in the electric vehicle, he decided to part ways with Tesla, not wanting to be associated with its owner's political views. Similar sentiments of disappointment are echoing across Europe. Former enthusiasts regret that they now face ridicule and unfriendly gestures instead of admiring glances and greetings. The transformation of public opinion, turning Tesla from a symbol of innovation into a subject of controversy, vividly demonstrates how closely the brand's image is intertwined with Elon Musk's personal reputation. Musk's declining popularity among European consumers is logically leading to a weakening of Tesla's market position, reflected in declining sales and weakening customer loyalty. Thus, the main reason for the difficulties the company is facing in Europe is the increasingly politicized and controversial image of its founder. Recently, Elon Musk appears to have abandoned his pursuit of political neutrality, increasingly providing his platform for statements by far-right and populist movements whose views often diverge from mainstream European values. An example of this is his active support for the Alternative for Germany (AfD) party in the run-up to regional elections scheduled for February 2025. Musk has repeatedly expressed his approval of the AfD on social network X, formerly known as Twitter, even calling it Germany's only hope. The culmination of this support was a live interview he organized with AfD leader Alice Weidel, which undoubtedly helped strengthen the party's credibility. Notably, the AfD is under close scrutiny by German intelligence and is considered a group suspected of extremism. Despite Musk's efforts, his support did not significantly impact the election outcome. However, his actions have raised concerns among many Germans and negatively impacted Tesla's image, alienating some moderate customers. Germany is not the only country where Musk has openly expressed his political sympathies, indicating his increasingly active role in political processes. In the UK, he has not hesitated to publicly criticize the Prime Minister, openly expressing sympathy for the right-wing Reformed UK Party. In Italy, his ties to Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, a well-known nationalist leader, have come under scrutiny as both leaders have made no secret of their mutual admiration and shared views, especially on immigration. Musk's influence has also spread to other countries, where he appeared to support far-right figures, promoting publications by Romanian ultranationalists and questioning the integrity of that country's judicial system. Such activity, representing an unprecedented level of political involvement for the head of a technology company, has sparked criticism in much of Europe. Moreover, his ideological preferences, characterized by skepticism towards climate and environmental policies, raise questions about the compatibility of his views with Tesla's green mission. By donating over $277 million to bring Donald Trump back to the White House, Elon Musk appears to have begun broadcasting ideas in line with critics of climate policy. He stated that there is no need to rush to solve the problem of climate change, as if implying that urgent measures to protect the environment may be excessive. Such statements have delighted organizations known for their skepticism about global warming. The Heartland Institute, which has repeatedly questioned climate science data, welcomed Musk's rejection of the climate cult, implying his departure from the generally accepted environmental position. Simultaneously, Musk has increasingly criticized European environmental standards, stating that EU policies place undue pressure on innovators. He sarcastically compares the EU's regulatory framework to a layered cake of bureaucracy, emphasizing that while America is creating new things, Europe is merely setting rules. When a European Union representative called on Elon Musk to comply with social media content regulations, Musk responded defiantly with an obscene meme, demonstrating his confrontational stance toward European authorities. This dismissive attitude toward government oversight, especially regarding disinformation, environmental standards, and safety, has further strained relations between Musk and European politicians. Consequently, Musk, once seen as an ally in building a clean energy future for Europe, is increasingly perceived as a provocateur supporting far-right and anti-regulatory movements. For many European consumers who value environmental friendliness and represent a key market for electric vehicles, Musk's behavior damages Tesla's image as a green brand. As one Danish pension fund noted, it is impossible to talk about Tesla without mentioning Elon Musk, who has publicly supported controversial political figures, spread disinformation, and criticized governments, causing investors and customers to turn away from the company. Elon Musk's political activity has become a heavy burden for Tesla in Europe, triggering boycotts, investor wariness, and regulatory scrutiny which seemed unthinkable just a few years ago. European leaders are reacting not only to Musk's influence on their country's domestic politics but also to the broader challenges emanating from the United States, especially with the potential return of Donald Trump to the world stage. Musk's alignment with Trump and other right-wing figures occurs amid growing tensions between the U.S. and the European Union on several key issues. One point of contention is Trump's renewed interest in Greenland, an autonomous territory of Denmark. Trump famously caused a diplomatic scandal in 2019 by suggesting the possibility of the United States acquiring Greenland. Now, ahead of a new term, he does not rule out applying economic or even military pressure to seize the island. Such a position, effectively treating part of the Kingdom of Denmark as a bargaining chip, has sparked outrage among European politicians. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen reiterated her country's unwavering position: Greenland is not for sale. She reminded the global community that the island is an integral part of Danish territory, not a commodity available for purchase. In response to these statements, European Union leaders demonstrated unity and solidarity with Denmark. European Council President Antonio Costa emphasized that protecting the sovereignty and territorial integrity of EU member states is a priority for the entire Union. In a show of support, European leaders pledged to resolutely defend Greenland's interests, rejecting any attempts at coercion. Even NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte, formerly the Prime Minister of the Netherlands, expressed concern about the situation. He suggested strengthening security measures in the Arctic region to prevent potential U.S. actions against the territory. Thus, European countries have made it clear that any attempts by Washington to pressure Denmark on the issue of Greenland will be met with firm resistance. Against this backdrop, trade relations between the European Union and the United States continue to deteriorate, further exacerbating geopolitical tensions. Storm clouds are gathering on the horizon of transatlantic relations. President Trump is again threatening Europe with new tariffs, resurrecting the specter of a full-scale trade war. In Brussels, at the headquarters of the European Union, these threats are perceived as nothing less than a direct attack on the economic stability of European countries. At the summit in February 2025, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen unequivocally stated her readiness to retaliate. When the European Union faces unfair or unjustified aggression, it will act decisively, she declared in her speech, addressing the potential trade adversary in the United States. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk, then serving as president of the European Council, supported his colleague, calling the prospect of a tariff war completely unnecessary and stupid. His words clearly conveyed Europe's desire to avoid escalating the conflict and descending into a vicious cycle of mutual accusations and sanctions. Despite the peace-loving rhetoric, EU leaders remain vigilant. They have begun developing emergency response plans in case Trump decides to put his threats into action. This position combines caution with a firm commitment to the transatlantic alliance. As von der Leyen emphasized, the partnership between the US and the EU remains a priority for us, but Europe will not allow itself to be blackmailed. The European Union is actively strengthening its own defense capabilities and economic independence. This is reflected both in increased defense budgets and in the development of political measures aimed at protecting key industries from external pressure, primarily from the United States. Against this backdrop, Elon Musk's actions could not go unnoticed by European regulators. In particular, the X platform, owned by Musk, has become the subject of an investigation under the new Digital Services Act. The reason for this was concern that Musk's non-interference policy contributes to the spread of disinformation and extremist materials. European authorities are aware of Musk's significant influence on public opinion on the internet and fear that this could lead to the formation of certain views or even a political shift to the right. According to media policy experts, these concerns have already sparked discussions about possible sanctions or fines from the EU if Musk's companies are found to be in violation of European standards. An example of this is the inclusion of Tesla on the financial blacklist by Denmark. All these actions, including public rebukes from European officials regarding Donald Trump's plans for Greenland, demonstrate a general trend. Europe is setting boundaries regarding what it considers a threat to its values, workers' rights, and sovereignty. Tesla's European difficulties highlight something more than just a car manufacturer's miscalculations. They reveal a transatlantic rift that calls into question common environmental ideals, political restraint, and mutual respect. European leaders are making it clear, whether it is an eccentric billionaire CEO or even the president of a superpower, any encroachment on European social and environmental norms on national identity will be met with a worthy rebuff. This brings the story to an end. The author expresses sincere gratitude to the viewers for their attention and participation. If the topics touched upon resonated and inspired, the best support would be a like and a subscription to the channel. This will help stay up to date with new publications and contribute to the development of the community. The next video that may be of interest to the viewer has already appeared on the screen.